Okay, hi students. So in this video, I am going to discuss about partial fractions topic. Okay, so partial fractions. So before starting the partial fractions discussion, we have to actually discuss about what actually is a polynomial. So we need to know what is a polynomial first. So therefore, let us start our discussion by polynomial. Okay, so what is a polynomial basically? So if I take f of x is equal to a naught x power n plus a1 x power n minus 1 plus a2 x power n minus 2 plus and so on an. So this is called as a general polynomial of nth degree in variable x. Okay, so this is called as nth degree polynomial. So this is called as nth degree polynomial with variable x. So for this to become nth degree polynomial, it is very important that this a naught is not equal to 0. So what is this a naught, a1, a2? All these are coefficients. A naught, a1, a2 and up to an. All these are coefficients which can be complex numbers. Now what is degree basically? So degree is the highest power of the variable. The variable here is x. And the highest power of the variable clearly you can see is n. So highest power of the variable is n, therefore we are writing nth degree. But if a naught is 0, highest power of the variable is not n, that cannot be nth degree. Therefore, for this to be called as nth degree, a naught must not be 0, definitely. So even if a1, a2, a3 they are going to be 0 or not 0 does not matter. But a naught must be definitely not equal to 0. So this is basically a polynomial. So based on the degree you will get first degree, second degree, third degree, like that. You will get different polynomials. So this is basically what a polynomial is. Next. So if we take f of x by g of x. This is called as a polynomial fraction. So this is called as a polynomial fraction or rational fraction, or simply a fraction you can call. Simply you can call that to be fraction. So f of x by g of x, why it is called as a rational fraction? Because you know what is a rational number? Any number of the form p by q. So if you are writing a number in the form of p by q, it is called as a rational number, where p and q are integers, q is not equal to 0. Same model, instead of p and q, if you use polynomials, it is called as a rational fraction or a polynomial fraction. If p and q are integers, it is simply called as a fraction or a rational number, no? So if you are using polynomials, that becomes a polynomial fraction or a rational fraction. Okay, right, so I'll write this now. So this is the basic information of polynomial fraction, and where g of x must not be 0. If g of x is 0, anyhow that is not defined, so g of x is definitely not equal to 0. So this is the polynomial fraction. Now based on the degree of numerator and denominator, this polynomial fraction can be proper fraction or improper fraction. Based on the degree of f of x and g of x, we get proper and improper fraction. Okay, so I will discuss two cases here. That is, if degree of f of x, that is numerator, is less than degree of g of x. So numerator's degree is less than denominator's degree. Okay, so then our f of x by g of x polynomial fraction, this is said to be a proper fraction. Otherwise, it is called as improper fraction. Otherwise means what? If degree of f of x is not less than degree of g of x. Not less than means what? Degree will be either more or equal. Okay? So when it is called as improper fraction, when degree of f of x is greater than or equal to degree of g of x. Okay, so even that I will write. Okay, so what is the second case? The second case I am going to write here is if degree of f of x is either greater or equal to the degree of g of x. Okay, so then f of x by g of x is called as improper fraction. So proper fraction means basically degree of our numerator polynomial must be less than degree of our denominator polynomial. Okay, so this is about proper and improper fractions. Okay, next, now I will discuss what is a reducible and what is irreducible factors. So what is a reducible factor, what is irreducible factors, those we will discuss. For example, if you take f of x, if f of x can be expressed as product of two other polynomials, these are some other polynomials. So if f of x, a polynomial, can be expressed as product of two other polynomials, degree of each of which is less than this degree of f of x, then f of x is said to be a reducible polynomial. Or in simple words, if f of x can be factorized, then f of x can be called as reducible. If f of x cannot be factorized further, it is called as irreducible. So reducible means simple, f of x must be expressed as product of two or more polynomials such that each polynomial's degree must be less than the degree of f of x. Okay, so simple. For example, if I take x squared minus 4, is it reducible or not? Okay, in simple words, can you factorize that or not? Yes, we can factorize. We can write this as x minus 2 into x plus 2. So this polynomial is expressed as product of two other polynomials where degree of each of this is less than this. What is the degree of first factor? 1. What is the degree of second factor? 1. Both are of lesser degree than this. Therefore, x square minus 4 is reducible. Simple words, when you can factorize, it is reducible. When you cannot factorize, it is irreducible. For example, I will take x square plus 1. Can you factorize it? No. Can you factorize means we will talk about only real coefficients. We will not talk about imaginary coefficients or coefficients with iota. Real coefficients only we will discuss. So you cannot factorize this. Therefore, this will be called as irreducible factor. Reducible means which you can factorize. Irreducible means which you cannot factorize further, in simple words. Okay. So these are about reducible and irreducible factors. Next, we will discuss the definition of a partial fraction. Basically, what will be the definition of a partial fraction? So partial fraction definition is when you take a proper fraction, so when a proper fraction can be expressed as sum of two or more proper fractions, can be expressed as sum of two or more proper fractions, then each of the proper fractions in the sum, is called as a partial fraction. Okay, so the most important point is, whenever you are expressing a proper fraction like this, the denominator must be always irreducible. This you have to understand. So we don't need to mention it always. Whenever you are taking a polynomial fraction and whenever you are taking a proper fraction, basically this denominator must be always irreducible only. That is, if denominator can be factorized, first you have to factorize first. Then only we will come to what are the partial fractions of these. All those things we'll discuss. But first you have to factorize if possible. So we don't need to mention always. This denominator must be always irreducible only. So even in definition also, you have to take that the denominator must be always containing irreducible factors only. Okay. So what is the definition actually? See. So when you take a proper fraction like f of x by g of x, when you take a proper fraction, when you express this as sum of two or more proper fractions like this, that is what the definition says. When a proper fraction can be expressed as sum of two or more proper fractions. So this proper fraction, when you are expressing as sum of two or more, then each proper fraction in this sum will be called as a partial fraction. So each proper fraction in the sum means this, all will be called as partial fractions. So basically, in the chapter of partial fractions, one polynomial fraction will be given to you. So the complete topic will be just like a polynomial fraction will be given to you. You have to split into partial fractions, or you have to resolve into partial fractions. Now expressing f of x by g of x as sum of two or more proper fractions, this process of expressing will be called as resolving into partial fractions or splitting into partial fractions. So entire chapter depends on how you are going to split this into two or more proper fractions. The complete chapter will be depending on this process. Okay, so this is the basic definition of a partial fraction. Okay. So next, now what we will do is, so how to resolve into partial fractions we will discuss. So first, whenever a question is given to you, you have to see, a question means what? A polynomial fraction will be given. So whenever a polynomial fraction is given to you, you have to see whether it is proper fraction or improper fraction. So when the question given to us is a proper fraction, we have four types. When a proper fraction is given for us, there are four types in that. So if our question is a proper fraction, we have to see under which type it falls. So if the question given to us is improper fraction, then there are two cases to be discussed in improper fraction. So basically, total 6 different models you have. when we are trying to split into partial fractions, 6 different models. So first you have to see whether it is proper or improper. If it is proper, we have 4 types in that. So the question falls under which category you have to see. If it is improper, there are 2 models in that. So if improper fraction is given, we have to see under which type it comes. Only 6 models will be there. Okay, so we will start by discussion of first 2 types. So basically in this video, I will try to concentrate on first and second type under proper fractions. Under proper fractions, we will try to discuss about type 1 and type 2. So first type 1 I am discussing now. Type 1 means, I told you already, f of x by g of x will be given as a proper fraction basically. So if our question is a proper fraction, what is type 1? So type 1, type 2, type 3, all these types just depend on this denominator. So by seeing the denominator, we will categorize into different types. So everything depends on denominator g of x. Okay. So what is type 1? So type 1 is when g of x means denominator contains non-repeated linear factors, only. Non-repeated linear factors. Linear means what? First degree. First degree means in the model of ax plus b. So for example, you have x plus 2. That is a linear factor. Why? Because degree of this is 1. Highest power of x is 1. Okay. You can take x minus 3. All these are examples of linear factors. So okay, linear factor means it will be in this model. What about non-repeated linear factor? So if you take x plus 2 whole square for example, we can write this as x plus 2 into x plus 2. That means the factor x plus 2 is repeating 2 times. That is the meaning of repeated. Repeated means a factor repeating 2 times means having whole square, or a factor repeating 3 times. If you have whole cube like this, so x minus 3, x minus 3, x minus 3, you will write like this, no. That is x minus 3 is repeating 3 times. So if a factor is repeating twice or thrice, that means having whole square, whole cube, whole power 4 like that. It is called as a repeated factor. Non-repeated means a factor occurring only once. A factor occurring only once means you should have a factor like this, only x plus 2 without whole square or whole cube like that. It is called as non-repeated, which occurs only once. So when g of x contains non-repeated linear factors only, how we are going to write the partial fractions, we will discuss now. So for example, f of x by g of x is our question. This denominator has a non-repeated linear factor like ax plus b. So corresponding to every non-repeated linear factor in this model, we will write the partial fraction as this factor anyhow will be in denominator only, no? So corresponding to every factor like this in the denominator, we will write the partial fraction as some constant by ax plus b. So corresponding to this factor in denominator, we will write the partial fraction like this. Why we are writing a? A is some constant. That is, a is some real number. You can take anything. So I am taking that constant as capital A. You can take x there. You can take y. You can take z. You can take p, q, or anything you want you can take. But numerator must be a constant. Constant polynomial. or 0 degree polynomial only must be taken in numerator. Why? Why? Because we have to express this as partial fractions. Partial fractions means what? We have to express this as sum of two or more proper fractions only. So when we are writing a partial fraction of this factor, the factor which the partial fraction which we write here must be a proper fraction only. Proper fraction means what? Denominator is first degree, so numerator must be less than first degree, no? So less than first degree means what? 0 degree. 0 degree means what? Denominator must be constant only. So when we have to express as proper fraction, since denominator is linear, numerator must be constant only. Therefore, we write some constant by ax plus b like this. So whenever you find a factor of this model in the denominator, corresponding to that factor, you will write the partial fraction like this. Okay, so this is the first type. Now I will just write it. I'll just write it now. So corresponding to every linear factor, of the form ax plus b in g of x. G of x means the denominator of the polynomial fraction. So corresponding to every linear factor of the model ax plus b in g of x, there exists a partial fraction. There exists a partial fraction means that must be proper fraction only. So there exists a partial fraction of the form a by ax plus b. Okay, now you might have asked, why a by x plus b only? Can't be write b by x plus b? You can. This is nothing but some constant or some real number. Just to represent some constant here, I am writing capital A. You can write any letter there. Okay. So corresponding to every factor of this form in g of x, you have to write the partial fraction like this. This is type 1. So I will give you example for that. So example. For example, you have a question like this. So first what you have